Hey, it's Donna again. Okay, so we just learned how to practice, learning to place your fingers on the G chord, and then learning a technique for building the muscle memory and your brain recall of how the chord feels, okay? And gradually lifting up, going down. That's the technique, okay? That works the same for all the chords. Same with the C chord. When you first, place your fingers most deliberately by looking at the chord chart. If you have to do this, whatever you have to do, that's so totally normal. And you're gonna get stuff wrong, you know what I mean? So you just double check everything until okay, I'm sure I'm playing the C chord correctly now. Okay, your tendency is going to be to press hard at first. Not recommended, but because you're afraid you're going to slip off one of the strings, that's just kind of normal. So let yourself for now, but don't overdo it because you can hurt yourself, okay? Guitar is rough on the neck, it's rough on the fingers, it's rough on the tendons, so you want to make sure you warm up properly and all that. Same thing with the C chord. Lift up gradually. Don't come off the strings. Let your brain get used to that. And remember, don't play this one, right? I muffle it with my thumb, so I don't have to worry so much, but I can also just have a feel for how it feels in my right hand so I don't play that string. Lift up, just ever so gently. Don't come off the strings. Same thing as the instruction for the G chord until you can come off the strings a little bit, land right back down. Notice the shapes of your chords. Like this C chord, you'll see a little diagonal line. Okay? The shapes of chords are important. We'll get to those in another lesson. All right? All right, so until you can eventually come completely off. And this may take you days, an hour here and there, over the course of days or a week or whatever. Okay, now you do the same for your D chord. You're going to deliberately place your fingers by the chord chart. You're going to get frustrated because you have to let go, where is that? But then you'll get them right, and you'll press too hard until you get used to it, okay? And just slightly, again, same routine. Over and over. I won't go through it all again. Until you can come off, drop right back down, until you can put your hand down, find it without even looking. That takes a while, but you can do it. Okay, so now, how do you get so you can switch from one chord to the next? That's kind of important. Okay, I included this instruction in a separate series I did on playing the song Jealous with guitar. But anyway, I'll go over the same thing here. How do you switch? Okay. So you basically stack your chords. Okay, so if you're playing like 3 chords, okay, and they go G, C, D. That's the order of the chords. And then D back to G. All right, so now you've got 4 different things you have to learn to switch to. You have to go from G to C, from C to D, from G to C, from C to D, and then from D back to G. I said that wrong, it's 3. So, all right, so you're gonna start 2 at a time. So you're gonna take your G, and you're gonna be very deliberate because now you've practiced G, so your brain has a little understanding of how G feels. And you've done this already, right? And maybe you've even done that. It's okay if you don't get that far right now. But if you can at least do this, you're good. Now you're going to go to C. You're going to go to G. And then even if you have to be really super deliberate about it, you're going to play those 2. You're going to go from G to C, back to G to C, from G to C. Okay, until it becomes kind of automatic. Stay with those 2. All right? Even if they sound wonky at first, it's like, it's okay. They'll level out. They'll sound pretty after a while. Okay? When your fingers develop that muscle memory. All right, now Okay, you just stacked G and C. Now stack G, C and D. Okay? Stack your chords. Learn to switch. Learn to transition. All right? Even if it's very deliberate at first, just do it. And you'll learn. I mean, you might be like this. All right? But hopefully you're not doing that because you've already practiced this. Okay? But it's okay. No matter what. Just keep doing it. Stack your C and your D. Now you're going to stack your D back to G. Same thing. You may be very deliberate at first. So now what you're doing is you're really super reinforcing your muscle memory in your fingers, but you're also training your brain to know how to shift gears, you know? It's like if you drive a standard vehicle, you know, and you can learn how to go into first gear, but then you got to learn how to shift into second and put your foot on the clutch and all that stuff, you know? So this is the same thing, okay? You're shifting gears. It's a little more tricky because you gotta, each finger needs to be in the right place. Then what you want to do is you want to put it all together. String it together like a necklace, okay? That might take you 3 weeks. Might take you, it depends on how much you practice. If you practice an hour, couple of hours a day, split it up, you know, an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, maybe another half an hour in the evening. If you just do that, you can mix it up. D, C, G. So that's how you learn to transition your chords. That method is used for any chords you end up playing. Okay, so you can play a song that uses E, A, and B. I don't start teaching that because the B chord is a bar chord, and it's a little tricky when you're first starting to play bar chords. But don't shy away from them. You will learn them, and they look scary and they're a little daunting because you have to develop a little bit of strength. Basically, this finger becomes a capo. And I showed you in one of the previous lessons what I did with my capo. I don't even know what I did. Here it is. So here's a capo, okay? There, all right. So your index finger is basically going to become this thing, all right? That's what a bar chord is. So I can play G right here, or I can play G here. Does that sound the same, right? Doesn't matter. Okay, so don't worry about bar chords right now. Learn to transition from G to C to D to C to G. Just mix it up, mix and match, mix and match. And then what we'll probably do is go on to another key eventually, but if you learn that for now, that will really prep you for moving into other chords, okay? Adding in other chords. Oh, also, we played an E minor. That was this one, okay? You happen to use my second and my third and 1, 2, my second, and I don't really think of them as numbers anymore. Yeah, I use my middle and my ring finger on the 5th and 4th string, 2nd fret. That's an E minor. So you can practice going from G to E minor to C to D. You can stack those chords too, the same way. Learn first G to E minor, G to E minor. Okay, it's just, that's the routine. That's the practice routine to getting kind of fluent at switching chords, okay? So just practice and have fun with it. Don't forget to play songs, all right? I taught you just basically how to play Margaritaville, and I think it was, what was it, Silent Night, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And prior to that, we talked about, oh, play some songs with the kids in your neighborhood, or if you have kids or grandkids or whatever, you know, Old MacDonald, The Wheels on the Bus. Oh, I don't know, what's some of the other one? I don't know. I taught high school kids with special needs, so I don't remember all the different. So we played like Sweet Caroline and, you know, Country Roads and all that stuff. I didn't sing all kids songs with them because they weren't kids, you know, but they did like Wheels on the Bus and Old MacDonald. So anyway, just have fun with it. Don't forget to have fun between all the minutia. But yeah, practice getting to know the whole whole, half pattern with the major scale, so you can find your notes on each string. Okay, it's important to be able to know, well, where is the G on this 6th string? Oh, I know, because I start on E. I know that this between E and F in the C major scale is a natural half step, so that's 1 fret. That's E, F, so E, F, G. There's G. There's my G on the 6th string. I really wanted to know where that was. Now you do. And after a while, you won't have to think about it. Where is the C on this string? That's an A. A. B is a whole step. Oh, between B and C is a half a step. There's my C right there. Okay, so you can find notes on each string by remembering that. Think of the C major scale, natural half step between B and C and E and F, and you're picking up on whatever note your string starts on. So that is my G, okay? So if I'm singing C, D, E, F, G, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do, okay, so G, A, B, well, where's the C? Oh, I know between B and C is a half step. C, there's C. There's an octave, okay, remember, do to do is an octave because it's 8 steps. All right, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. All right, have fun playing. Have fun with this. This is fun, okay? Don't get so you're super sore. Do little warm-ups before you start playing your guitar. You know, you can do some of these, stretching out, pull in. You know, you can do some of these things here. I recommend doing these. So you're touching each finger to your thumb. Classical guitarists will teach you some other things, but I don't. I'm not a classical guitarist. I'm not an advanced guitarist. I'm intermediate. So you can do all sorts of things, but yeah, loosen up your neck, loosen up your shoulders. I'm wearing shoulder strap. Right now I'm not sitting down, so I just rigged this shoulder strap up. You can see I don't have, well, I do have a place, I do have a place to put a shoulder strap right here, but I don't do that because the headstock is, I have a bad neck and bad shoulders, and so the headstock becomes heavy for me. So I put the strap up here with this little thing you can buy at Guitar Center or wherever for like, I don't know, like $5.99 or something, and it's just, you know, you just do like a little slip knot, it hooks into your strap, and it clips. And I don't want to unclip it now because my guitar will fall. But anyway, you can just, it's supposed to be a quick release thing, but I don't have that kind of, yeah, that's hard for me right now because I have thumb arthritis and stuff. But still, I can still play the guitar. Yeah, I can still play the guitar with thumb arthritis and tendonitis. I just have to be careful and rest. Some people say, I can't play the guitar because I have arthritis. Yeah, you can. You can. Just take it easy. Go slow. Warm up. Okay? When you start to get sore, stop. You should never feel cramps up here, tightness up here or in your wrists. You know, you shouldn't feel pain. You're going to feel pain on your fingertips until you develop callus. That does not take long. Okay? When it starts to feel like, oh God, you know, it feels like I'm cutting myself. Stop right there, and rub your fingers, and wait a couple of hours, and come back to it. If it hurts still, come back the next day. You'll very quickly develop callus to the point where you could almost stick a needle in your finger, and it won't hurt. All right. Thanks for listening.